So, would you be willing to pay a COVID-19 surcharge when, say, you go to the nail bar or you go to the dentist? There are businesses reportedly in BC and Alberta that have started tacking on a surcharge to help cover extra costs because of the pandemic, like fees for acquiring PPE, personal protective equipment, for their employees. So, what do you think? Would you pay a surcharge?
Well, I want to go to Jessie on Twitter. Here's her response. She says, I don't think it's fair. There is an online grocery shopping company and they charge a $5 COVID-19 fee. Some are taking advantage of the situation and it's not fair because a lot of us are home and not making enough money. Jessie, I think that's a great point. Listen, if you are lucky enough to be working during this pandemic, then great. Do your thing and help out where you can with the economy. And if that means a surcharge, if you go to the nail bar or if you get your hair done, that's one thing. But here's the thing, like Jessie says, a lot of people are just struggling to make ends meet. They're out of work right now, or they're on reduced salaries right now. And so any kind of charge like this, anything extra is not going to be something that they can do.
Yeah. Lori also wrote to us on Twitter and she said there should be a tax credit for small businesses securing proper PPE. As a registered massage therapist, it will be a huge expense for me. I don't want to have to pass that on if I don't have to, but it might be a reality. I mean, that's interesting to think about the possibilities of government stepping in and doing a tax credit, although I feel like government is going to be in such large amounts of trouble afterwards that we may all be talking about increased taxes in order to just get up to some semblance of normalcy again. For me, I'm fine to pay a little bit of a COVID, surcharge for small businesses. I'm not as cool with large businesses, franchises that should, in my opinion, have a safety net. And if anything, should also be maybe looking at the infrastructure, the way in which they pay, let's say, their CEOs versus their worker bees, and balancing maybe some of that kind of finances out rather than putting it on to the customer. I'm not as into it.
You know what, though? It's interesting because there's like a want versus a need. And I don't know about you ladies, but I know we've all learned the things that you want, but then there's the things you need. I think we've all become self-sufficient in a lot of things that we used to go out to small businesses for, whether it's doing your hair, coloring your hair, your nails, your waxing. I mean, do the list. And we've all had to become very quickly self-sufficient. That doesn't mean, however, that I want to continue to do that for myself, even though I have been, because I'm not really good at this stuff, which tells me because luckily I am still working, you're going to have to go back out and support your businesses. And I'm very happy to do so. But this is the reality of business. I think the fact that people are like, oh, there's a COVID surcharge, the way that businesses all run is built into their cost is their expense of doing business. That includes things like their rent, their hydro, all of their expenses like supplies. And now in that list of supplies in some businesses will be masks, gloves, etc. That's the cost of doing business. And so we're in this for the long haul. I think to call it just a COVID surcharge, it's like COVID and post-COVID, because we're in this, experts say, for 2 or 3 years or maybe more. So if you want those businesses to survive, and 90% of businesses in this country are small businesses, we're all who can going to have to eat up a little bit of that, because some people are predicting a quarter of small businesses will not make it out of this. And I don't want any of the businesses that I really, rely on to be one of those. So where I can, I'll be more than happy to help them pay for those and also keep their lights on at the same time.
Yeah, it's a great point, Mel. And Cynthia, I'm so glad that you read that message from that massage therapist who actually was very specific about the fact that their cost would go up. And, yes, it's added supplies, but it's an added, unprecedented, unplanned for line item in your budget. This took everybody by surprise. I mean, you can plan your budget as a business, and you should, but who could have foretold when we were planning our budgets last year, right? That you'd have to account for whatever, an extra 10, 15% on equipment that you would never have used before. And I do worry also about the economy. I do worry about small businesses. I worry about my own small business. And I'm not sure what the answer is, because for sure, everybody is tight on cash now. So who is it that steps in to help? Cynthia, as you said, our tax dollars have been working really hard lately. The taxes that we all put in, for all the complaining and moaning that we all do generally on a daily basis about taxes, they've been working so hard. I personally know many, many people who've been helped by the subsidies that the government has put forward. The stories have been really encouraging that you apply for the subsidy on a Thursday, the money is in your account by a Wednesday, and that's helped companies, small businesses, Canadians stay afloat. And the thing is that that's our tax dollars. So I wonder, Mel, you're saying we're in this for the long haul. I hope that after the long haul, maybe we'll pause a little bit before we moan and complain again about taxes. Because clearly, to me, the lesson here is that my tax dollars is going, hopefully, to helping people who really need it.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this, I think, last week on our show. We're sitting right now at about a 13% unemployment rate. That's a lot of Canadians, 2 to 3 million Canadians right now who have lost their jobs. So that means if we are in this together, that means if you are working and you are able, you've got to help out everybody else to the best of your ability. And that will be to varying degrees. And like we said, there are the small businesses, which actually make up the majority of this country's economic engine, versus, yes, we do have big companies and we think, hey, you guys can afford this, so do your part. But I think when you look back on it, and it's mostly the moms and pop shops that really need the help.